Hey everybody, this is Pat from Like Attracts Like Evolution and the Like Attracts Like podcast. Today, I wanted to share something that I believe is now really, truly the most powerful scripting method that I've ever used. It's something that I've been working with for a little while, and I've had some really amazing revelations about it recently. So I wanted to kind of share the update with all of you. As you guys know, I personally am heavy on journaling and scripting and meditation in my life and my practice and what I offer as a service. And I do this myself with you. So this is not something that I just, do as I say, not as I do. I absolutely love and live by all of these things. And one of the things that I hold the most dear to my heart, that I've had the most impressive personal results with, is this 369 method of journaling. So if you're unfamiliar with this, I break this down into three pieces: your uncovering journal, your scripting journal, which is for creation, and then a gratitude journal. And these three processes every single day in very short fashion can make tremendous improvements in your life, in your reality. So one of the methods that I teach, and many people offer or teach, is this 369 method. And there's multiple ways to do this, but this is just the version of it that I use personally. You pick an affirmation, something that you want to bring into existence, something that you want to experience, something that you want to do or have in your life, in your moment. And you write that down 3 times in the morning when you wake up. If you can meditate before or after, I always feel that's the most beneficial for me. If you can work the time into your schedule. But first is to write it down 3 times in the morning. Write down the affirmation and then go about your day, set an alarm, do whatever you need to do. And whether it's in that same journal or whether it's in the notes in your phone, that section there, you write that same affirmation 6 times and bring your awareness to it. Set an intention, offer up your frequency of accepting and allowing, if you will. And then you continue on with your day. And before you go to bed, again, if you can find a meditative state or place, you write that same affirmation 9 times. And I suggest that you do that for 21 days in a row. And if you could do that for 21 days in a row, you'll notice a very interesting process. And that is, in the beginning of the process, as with any change that we're trying to make or implement into our life to, we'll say, better ourselves or call in our highest version, when you start, you're very excited. So the first 3 maybe to 4 days of writing these affirmations every day and the time that it takes, you might be very excited and eager to see the potential change. And then you'll notice in the middle of this process, in the middle of these 21 days, you'll notice the mind start to attack you because it's constantly looking for evidence of what it is that you're telling you that the reality is. Whatever you're telling your mind your reality is, it's looking to reflect that back and give you evidence of it every single moment of the day. So when you go to make a change in your life and you go to throw in a new thing that you want to do or be or have, it doesn't fit your storyline and your mind is designed to throw it out. It's actually designed to stop you from getting out of your comfort zone. It's convincing you that it's not worth it, that you're not going to see evidence of it. Well, you're going to do this again. You think you can last the 21 days? It's doing that because the evidence, the data that you're giving it, there's no data to support it yet in the world, in your reality. It's designed to kick that out. So this is why it takes perseverance, and this is why it takes the true observer of the process, separate from it initially, to actually create or manifest these things in your life. So your brain is looking for evidence of something that it can't yet see, and it will try to talk you out of it. Being aware that it will try to talk you out of it is the magical secret that you need on your side to get you past the hump where it starts to convince you of the story. There will be a part where that momentum will shift, and the mind, again, designed to give back to you the story you're telling it, if you tell it long enough, is designed to start now looking for the new thing. Okay, they're not letting up. They're continuously trying to write this out into this new narrative. So I guess we need to look for this. Your brain, again, designed, will start to look for evidence of the new story. Your brain's impartial. It doesn't care what story it's looking for. It's looking for the one you tell it to look for. So it's going to start to look around and say, oh, here's evidence of that thing you've been saying. Here's evidence of that thing that you've been saying. Remember this? Here's a conversation. You should listen to that. It's going to be on your side and start bringing these things to your attention. Then you'll notice a very interesting thing happens at the end of this journey. You will be seeing a little bit of evidence of it. You'll see it here and there, but just by the simple act of doing this for so long, the act of doing it is showing the universe or the world or your higher self that you believe it. Just the act of doing it, even if you're like, no, I don't believe it. The fact that you're doing it implies to the universe that you're taking action on this thing with the most valuable thing in the universe, which is your attention and energy. You're taking time, you're choosing to do this. So even though your mind, which you think is you but isn't, is screaming at you, telling you and trying to convince you to stop doing this, that you don't believe it, the simple act of doing it implies, again, I can't say it enough, that you believe it. So just continue to do it. You'll notice that you will feel differently about what you were asking for. You'll notice that you'll feel closer to it, but you won't need to see full evidence of it. And the excited person that was surprised and eager to get going is very calm now and very balanced. And it can allow you, if you do this enough and you do it consistently, you will get what you want. This is, for thousands and thousands of years, this is essentially what they have been saying. This is how we do this. So what is the key that holds this thing all together? It's gratitude. So what this magical thing that happens is that there is an acceptance of the understanding that you no longer need the thing to make you feel better. You've been doing this enough and putting enough attention on it that there's this balancing act that goes on. And by the end of it, you're still doing it. You're just kind of good. And you know that it's going to come because you have this new raised frequency of belief, and it doesn't matter when, and you're kind of good with it. But this is what happens when you do this process, the 369 process for 21 days. This is the loop. This is what happens. So at the end, you're just walking around still desiring the same thing, but with a different belief system about when you're going to get it, and there's less urgency. So here's literally what's happening, and I want to introduce the new method that I use to combine both of these processes at the end. So really, if you have a couple minutes, this could be beneficial to your journaling meditation practice. So this is us, and we have a choice in every single moment to choose or accept how we feel about the thing that we're asking for. When you are coming from a place of lack, imagining that the thing that you're asking for, this excited person that can't wait to get it, is going to improve your day in some way, that balance is off. You're not in alignment with it. You think it's amazing and you don't know what you're going to do without it. I wish I had more of it. My life would be so much better. If you're doing that, you can feel and see that you are not in what they call alignment with it. You're putting it on a pedestal, and feeling this way, like it's better if you could have it, is pushing it away from you. So this is all in the, lack-based mind, the mind that is trying to say that it's got to uplift the other story that you've been telling for a long time, which is that you're not worthy of having anything, and good things don't last long, and people who get too close to you leave you, so don't let anybody get too close. There's another story going on here, and that's the story of you, how you feel about you. So if you're in lack-based thinking about the thing that you're asking for, you'll remain in a loop of unalignment or non-alignment. I don't know what word is best to use there, for infinity, until you can get the story of worthiness down and shift your thinking into a place of gratitude. Again, if you always think you're garbage or that the world is garbage, then you're walking around with a mind that is trying to perceive that world and relay it back to you as the mirror of your choices, really. Regardless as to what you've been through, we can choose. That's the one thing that we do have power to do. So when you shift the lack-based mindset to one of gratitude for the moment, for where you are, for who you are, for how far you've come, and you don't view yourself or this world of reality with an external or internal sense of judgment, then you will start to feel better now. When you feel better now, you will have let go of other things that you used to require to make you feel good. You're feeling good now. You're walking through, and now you can imagine things that you would want, not because they're going to make it better, but because there's this internal burning for what you came here to do and who you came here to be. And now, because it's released the grasp of the external realities control that had over you, you can sit in this place now of accepting and loving yourself and seeing who you and feeling who you truly are. You will get these desires, but they won't be egoically based. This is what happens when you live in gratitude every day. You literally jump right up to the key that holds it all together. And in time, because when you feel this way all the time, patience is actually easy. I know that sounds wild, and I never thought I'd be the person to say that. But when you sit in this place for a while, patience is not a thing you have to focus on. You simply have it, because there's no longer the need for this external place and thing and time that's got to come in order for me to be, that goes. So patience is, the mind won't even reference the word because you're just it. So as you find this place, you can really attract things very, very quickly. If we don't, this is where I'm going to combine it. So this is why I think the 369 method is amazing. And this is how I'm going to talk about how I modify it. There's something I do at the end of the day also with a gratitude journal, and I write down things that went well for me. And I have to come up with 4. And you'll find if you do it, if you get your attention to shift on things that went well for you during the day, you'll write pages. You'll be amazed. If you could sit there and do it, you'll write pages. giving gratitude for things that went well in the day. But I never connected these two dots about how challenging it is for people, to myself included, to get excited about, like, to shift this mind process. There's a lot of momentum of the mind trying to tell you that you can't have it and that you shouldn't have it and you're not worth it and it doesn't work that way. Like, there's a lot of momentum. So we have to really sometimes jump to close the gap on gratitude for these things that we don't have. There is a deep, sometimes lack-based thought process. So when you do, this is how I changed it, do 369, but also do 369 with one thing that you are still grateful for, because the energy of gratitude that brought the thing to you is the same thing that is going to keep these things in your life. And that's why you might know people who are really good at attracting things, and it's amazing and they're so good, but they're always shifting their attention onto the next thing and to the next thing and to the next thing. And then all of a sudden, like, their car blew up and their girl left them and they can't handle their like, all of these things happen over here with things that they don't have, because the glue that holds it together, the glue that brought those things to them, has been shifted to these new shiny things. So the glue that was holding the things that you got previous to this will go away. They'll bounce. They'll repel you energetically because A, you're not giving them your attention, and B, you're not giving them the gratitude for being in your life or having been brought to your life. So this is literally it. This is thousands and thousands of years is what they've been talking about. And I don't know why, I don't know why this hit me in this way when I was like, I have to combine these things. But if you can take your affirmation, the new thing that you want, and write it 3, 6, and 9 times during your day, or some variation of that feels good for you. And do that for 21 days. And then write out something, one thing, you can do 2, but keep it finite. One thing that you write down that you have in your life that you're grateful for. Bring maybe something into your attention that you haven't really been giving your attention to. Bring that thing in and sit and feel grateful with that, because you already have it. It should be easier for you to be like, I'm grateful for that. I am grateful for that because of this, or because of this, because of this. So from that place, you will feel gratitude. Now hold that for a little bit and then write out your affirmation on what you want. And then now shift the feeling. You will literally be able to shift the feeling from what it is that you have to what it is that you want, and begin to close that gap on being in alignment with it. So remember, we have a choice about how we want to feel every day. And if we choose this lack-based thinking, then you're living in the frequency of lack. It stops the path from going to gratitude, and you will live in this loop from choice to lack, and your world will reflect that over and over and over, infinite amounts of ways, until you can hopefully become aware of this process and break the loop. And you start to transition from what it is that you want and desire and require and all of these things that you need. You start shifting gratitude for the moment to allow you to do this process long enough to shift your belief system that by default, you just are it. You are going to get it. You are so sure of it that it's going to come in, and you don't care or need to know how. This will happen by the end of this process, once you get past the mind's designed blocks to keep you where you're telling it you want it to be. Give yourself permission to move on, and the thing and you and the choice will all be in alignment, and you will walk through your day more progressively with way more of what you've been asking for showing itself to you. And that is what I wish for each and every single one of you. If you have questions, you might have questions, or if you want to tackle this in your own individual journey and really dive a little bit deeper into how I use this, please feel free to reach out to me. Throw me some messages. Have an amazing day, a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys next time. Have fun with this.